before your silence starts speaking for you? Oh, see, I told you it's going to be a good question. You know why? Been there. Everybody ask, how you doing? I'm good. Hmm. See, here's because what you refuse to express will eventually express itself through your tone, through your distance, through your irritation, through your resentment. So you may not say what you need right now, but eventually everybody around you, brother, will feel what you never said. Oh, yeah. See, man, when I tell you that I'm so grateful for the things I've gone through so I could pour into you, because some men are not calm. They are emotionally unavailable to themselves, not to somebody else, but to themselves. They keep working, they keep providing, they keep solving problems, they keep showing up for everybody, but they have lost contact with what is happening inside of them. Man, I'm so excited about this because, I've been there. Someone asks you, how are you doing? What do we say? We're programmed to say what? I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Your wife asks, is something wrong? You know what we're going to say, right? No, I'm good. Nothing. Nothing's wrong. I'm good. But brother, something is wrong. Dude, you're exhausted. You're overwhelmed. You're lonely. You feel unappreciated. Or, yeah, you might just be angry, bro. And every time you say nothing when something is happening, you teach the relationship not to see you. Think about that. Then 6 months later, you feel invisible. But you helped create that invisibility by hiding every signal. What do I mean by that? I want you to think about this. Here's a man who's coming home after a long day, and he's been solving problems since 6 that morning, and he's been doing everything at work he's supposed to do. He's over. He's all the financial concerns. A phone call from a family member. Another responsibility added to his calendar. Sounds familiar? Then he walks into the house. His wife looks at him and says, you seem quiet. Are you okay? He gives her the answer that we give, brothers, that we always give. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Brother, she believes him. She begins talking about her day. Then she asks whether he can handle one more task. Honey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? What does he say? Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, I can do it. But inside, he feels something tighten. 10 minutes later, he snaps over something small. A dish was left on the counter, or the television being too loud, or a question asked at the wrong time. The argument appears to be about the kitchen, but in reality, it's not. It's not about the kitchen. It's not about the kitchen, brother, right? This. It's not about the kitchen. See, he didn't become angry in that moment. That brother, that anger had been accumulating in him all day, probably a few days. The small event simply gave hidden pressure a place to escape. See, your kitchen may be different. Maybe you snap in a car. Maybe you become cold in bed, or maybe you stay late at work. Maybe you disappear into your phone, scrolling, or answer everyone with one word responses. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. You know how that goes, brother. And so this brings us to the central truth. A mature man expresses his needs before silence turns into resentment. Not after he explodes, not after he disconnects, not after everybody feels the tension in the room, man. Before all of that happens, before any of that happens. See, this is series number 5. And basically, what it is about is that you stop expressing your needs. See, number 4, we're going to deal with empty apologies. Number 3, we're going to deal with abandoning your standards. But this right here, where we are today, this is where the disappearance often begins, brother. So today I'm going to give you 5 movements, okay? 5 basic movements. Why men hide their needs, why we hide our needs. And so how hidden needs leak into behavior, and how to distinguish a need from a demand. We're going to talk about how to express a need without blaming. And sir, you stay with me. We're going to talk about how to handle the response without collapsing. or becoming controlling. Okay. So if you stick with me, we're going to go through that today. So I want you to do something. I want you to do something for me. Let me know that you're still with me. Comment the word voice if you have ever believed this right here. It's easier to handle it myself. Go ahead and comment the word voice if you've ever heard that, thought that yourself. No shame. But today, we're going to examine what that belief has been costing you, brother. Yeah, we're going to do that. So I want you to take some time right now. I'm not sure if you're able to kind of go to a private place, but here's why. Many men don't hide their needs because they have none. They hide them because they have been taught that needing anything makes them weak. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, you might have been taught to not complain. As a man, we're taught don't cry. As a man, we're taught don't burden people. Don't ask for help. See, our thing is to be a man, you got to figure it out. You got to handle it, brother. You got to keep moving. That's what we've been told. That's what we've been taught. And slowly, your strength became confused with emotional silence. See, you learned how to carry pressure, but you may have never learned how to communicate pressure. See, those are different skills, my man. Those are different skills, sir. And so think about this for a second. Who taught you that a man must be needed but never have needs? Who taught you that? See, you can provide support, you can give reassurance, you can carry responsibility, you can solve emergencies, but when you need support, sir, you feel embarrassed. Yeah, I know, been there. So this is not sustainable strength. That's not sustainable. That is a one-way emotional labor. That is one-way emotional labor. It's like a one-way street. See, you become the source for everybody else while refusing to admit that your own reserves are running low. Even Jesus expressed needs. Yeah, get into that word. See, he told his disciples when he was deeply troubled, he asked them to watch and to pray. He withdrew to rest and then he received support. Need did not cancel his strength. It's not going to cancel your strength. Neediness and having needs are not the same. Neediness kind of demands that another person regulate your entire life. That's neediness. Maturity acknowledges that human beings require rest. We require connection, affection, respect, support, and understanding. So maybe you do need appreciation, not applause. Just acknowledgement is what you're talking about. Maybe you do need affection, not constant reassurance, not stroking the ego, but just consistent closeness. Maybe you need help, not to be rescued, but what we're talking about in the framework is called partnership. That's the help you're looking for. So your first assignment is to name the need without judging it. I need you to name it. All right. So complete this sentence with me. You ready? Right now, I need more blank. Fill in the blank. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. Just identify it. Okay. So maybe the word that you're needing right now is rest. Maybe it's clarity. Maybe it's affection. Maybe it's respect. Yeah, these are just a few examples. Maybe you need support. Maybe you need time. How about connection, encouragement, help, space? So don't turn another person into the sole source of every need. Some needs require prayer. Okay. Some require friendship, rest. Who's your community? Who do you lean on? How about counsel, exercise, professional support, or change in your own habits? See, mature expression is not, you must fix everything I feel. No, here's the mature expression. It is, I am responsible for understanding what is happening inside me, and I will communicate honestly, not harshly, honestly. Okay. A mature man expresses his need before silence turns into resentment. Get that? But first, he must believe he is allowed to have a need. Oh, see, I told you. We're working on something today. All right. So once a man refuses to name his need, those needs, brother, they don't disappear. I'm gonna tell you what happened if you refuse to name it. If you don't name it first, they begin finding other ways to speak for you, right? So they begin to find ways to speak for you. So what your silence verbally often becomes is visible behaviorally. See, you may never say, I feel unappreciated, but everybody experiences your coldness. You walk in the room, everybody's on pins and needles, everybody's walking on eggshells. You may never say, I'm exhausted. But your children experience your impatience. Leave me alone, or I'll be there in a minute, or I'll do this in a second. Your partner experiences your distance. Your coworkers experience your irritability. See, you may never say, I need affection. Instead, what you do is you become bitter whenever she does not initiate. Oh, yeah, come on, let's talk, let's talk. See, you begin to withdraw, you stop trying, then you call the distance mutual. You even say this is what she wanted. You may never say, you know what, I feel overwhelmed. Instead, you overwork, or you overeat, you overspend, you overcompensate somehow. You scroll for hours on your phone, or just stay busy enough that you never have to feel anything, right? Brother, your coping mechanism may be communicating the need you refuse to name. So the question is not only, what am I doing? See, the question, what am I trying not to feel? What am I trying not to feel in this moment? All right. So be honest with yourself. Remember, the man who snapped over the dish we talked about earlier, it wasn't about the kitchen, right? So we understood that his problem was not that he had a need. His problem was that he made everybody else interpret a need that he refused to communicate. So the problem, not that you have a need. The problem is when you don't communicate that you have that need, right? So remember, first thing you got to do is got to name that thing. See, that is where hidden pain becomes relationally unfair. Your family receives the attitude, but they never receive the explanation. They feel the pressure, but they do not know where the pressure came from. They don't know, man. They don't know that you're tired. They don't know that. They just know that you're irritable. Why are you irritable? So they should automatically know what's wrong, right? But you never clearly told them. You expected observation to replace communication. I know what that feels like. Can't she see what I'm going through? Don't they see what's happening to me? But people who love you should pay attention. But love does not create mind reading powers, brother. Someone can care deeply and still misunderstand your silence. Yeah. So use what I call the leak test, LEAK, right? So here's what I want you to do. Use what I call the leak test, all right? First thing, ask, where am I becoming unusually irritated? Where am I withdrawing? Where am I keeping score? Where am I saying it doesn't matter when it clearly does matter to you? You know? So those behaviors may be pointed towards an unspoken need. Do the work, sir. Irritation may be pointing towards rest. Withdrawal may be pointing toward fear. Scorekeeping may be pointing towards feeling unappreciated. All right? So before blaming anyone, write this down, write this down, write this down. When I notice myself doing blank, I may actually be needing blank. See, that turns unconscious behavior into usable information. All right? Self awareness does not make you soft, it makes you less dangerous to the people you love. All right. Can you tell them having fun with this? Because this stuff is freedom. That's what it is. It's freedom. Because see, a man who understands himself does not require everyone else to absorb what he refuses to examine. I know that was heavy. I know. I was feeling that one. Yeah. So a mature man expresses his needs before silence turns into resentment. But expressing a need does not mean making a demand. That distinction matters, sir. Think about it. Think about it. A need is not a demand, complaint, or accusation. Some men remain silent because the only language that they know is accusation. They don't know how to say, I need support. See, they only know how to say, you never support me. Yeah, we know how to say that. They don't know, they don't say, I need more time with you. You know what they say? They say, you're always too busy. You're always too busy. You see what we're doing? We're putting our responsibility on someone else. See, we don't say, you know what, hon, I need appreciation right now. But we will say, nothing I do is ever enough for you. Been there? Sounds familiar? See, the need may be legitimate, brother, but the delivery turns the need into an attack. So I'm not talking about what you don't need. What we're talking about is how to get you there, right? So now the other person must defend themselves before they can understand you. So instead of getting that attention or that affection, we give an attack. A need reveals your internal experience. A request gives another person something clear to respond to. A demand removes their freedom. An accusation attacks their character. So what you have to do is say what you need. All right. So say something like, I have been feeling disconnected. Make a request. Could we spend 30 minutes together tonight without our phones? Here's what the actual demand sounds like, right? You better make time for me tonight. Here's what an accusation sounds like. You don't care about this relationship. You know, get this. It's the same pain, but four completely different deliveries. One invites connection, the other creates pressure, fear, and defensiveness. A mature man doesn't hide his need. He also does not weaponize his need. He communicates directly without his partner making his partner responsible for proving his worth. So I want to give you something today, all right? So I want you to use this formula. Use this formula. I feel blank because blank. What I need is blank. Would you be willing to blank? Keep it specific, keep it present, keep it realistic, okay? So here's an example. Here's an example. I feel overwhelmed because I have been carrying several responsibilities without discussing them. What I need is help prioritizing. Would you be willing to sit down with me tonight? Right? Here's another example. Another example of how that could read, or how that could help you read the room is, listen to this. I've been feeling disconnected because we have not had uninterrupted time together. I need more intentional connection. Can we plan 1 hour this weekend? You know, here's another example for you. Babe, I've been feeling unappreciated. I realize that I've not said that clearly. I need acknowledgement, not praise for everything. Could we talk about how we show appreciation to each other? Dude, life changing. See, don't disguise a demand as a request. A request allows the other person to actually answer you honestly. So if the only acceptable answer is yes, it's not a request, it's a demand with a question mark at the end. So you're not issuing an order politely. So here's the realism of it. She may say, not tonight. That doesn't automatically mean that she doesn't care about you. What it may mean is that the timing needs to adjust. So at that stage, what you got to do is be willing to negotiate the request without denying the need. All right. So it's okay to negotiate, but just understanding that there are two people in this relationship. So a mature man expresses his needs before silence turns into resentment. He tells the truth, but he tells it in a form that connection can receive. Okay. He tells it in such a way that the partner can be able to receive it, and it builds connection between them. So how do you turn everything we have discussed into one practical conversation? Use what I call the need protocol, NEED protocol, the need protocol. Use the need protocol. Name what is happening inside you. All right. Name what's happening inside you. The first N means name what's happening inside you. All right. So name it. Now, don't name what she's doing. Name what you're feeling. Okay. Name what you're carrying. Name what you're noticing. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest about that. So first N is name what you're seeing. Okay. Then I want you to move beyond bad. I want you to move beyond stressed, fine. And I want you to try something. Try overwhelmed, disconnected, uncertain, unappreciated, lonely, pressured, exhausted. Try those. See, you cannot clearly communicate what you refuse to identify. Naming the feeling reduces the chance that your emotion will control the entire conversation. All right, so let's move to E. E is explain the situation without attacking. All right, so we go from naming to explaining. The first E is explain the situation without attacking the character. Okay, describe what has been happening. Avoid words like always, never, everybody. These nobody. These words that are very general. But you can say, you know what? We've had very little time together over the last 2 weeks. See, that's honest. Don't say you never make time for me. So, one describes a situation, The other declares a verdict, right? So E, the next E, is express the actual need. All right. So express the actual need. Don't make her decode the complaint. Don't make her read your mind. Say something like this, honey, I need more connection. Honey, I need help. Honey, I need clarity. I need rest. All right. So those are clear. Clarity gives the other person a chance to love you more accurately. Vagueness forces them to guess, and when you force a person to guess, you may not get what you want. Then you may end up punishing them for guessing incorrectly. So let's go to D. D is define one doable request. Okay. D means simply defining one doable request. Defining one doable request. Not change your whole personality, not make me happy, but just name one action. Okay. All right. One action. All right. So could we talk 20 minutes after dinner? Here's another example. Could you handle bedtime tonight while I reset? Here's another example. Could we schedule one evening together this week? Here's another one. Could you tell me what you appreciate about what I've been carrying? Invite the feedback. So here's a complete framework. Okay. N, name what is happening. E, explain without attacking. E, express the need. D, define one doable request. So that, my friend, is the need protocol. So here's how it sounds when you put it all together. You ready? The need protocol. All right. So here's how it sounds. I care about us and I need to be honest about something I've been carrying. I've been feeling overwhelmed because I've taken on more than I can manage well. Honey, I need help and I need some time to recover. Would you be willing to handle dinner Thursday so that I could get a few hours rest? Then be silent. All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to comment the word need, NEED. Comment the word need if that sounds different from you don't do anything around here. One creates a path, the other creates a fight. Which one do you want? Which one do you prefer? You listen to this video, I'm sure that you don't want to create a fight because that's what you want to avoid, right? So you want to create a path. A mature man expresses his need before silence turns into resentment. But there's one more question. All right. So here it is. What happens if you communicate well and the response is not what you hope for? Hey, you got to be ready for that. So here's the next thing I want to share with you today. Receive the response without collapsing or attacking. Receive the response without collapsing or attacking. Expressing a need doesn't guarantee immediate agreement. She may be surprised. She may get defensive. She may even be tired. She may get confused. Like, where's this coming from? Who you been talking to? Share this video with her. She'll get it. Or she may be unable to meet your request exactly as you made it at the moment. See, your maturity is not only revealed by how you ask, your maturity also is revealed by how you receive an answer that you didn't want or it wasn't part of your preference. All right. So how you do that? Here it is. So if she says, well, I didn't know you felt that way. Dude, don't jump in there and say, well, you should have. You should have known. We've been here together for, don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, say this. All right. You ready? Say this. Honey, I realize I've not communicated it clearly. And that's why I'm telling you now. Ooh, that's gold. See, exactly. See. So here's another one. So let me think of something. If she says, nah, I can't do that tonight, don't immediately just conclude that your need didn't matter to her. Ask a follow-up question. All right. So say this. What time would work better for you? That's what I meant earlier when I talked about negotiate the request. So don't erase the need, negotiate the request. If she becomes defensive, when you ask all these questions, if she becomes defensive, say this. Say, babe, I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to tell you what's happening inside of me before it turns into distance. You see that? That sentence returns the conversation to its purpose. That sentence, it brings everything back into perspective. So if your needs are repeatedly mocked, dismissed, or used against you, that requires a different conversation. You may need to have counseling or something of that nature there. See, emotional safety must work in both directions. But first, examine whether if you've communicated clearly and if you communicated consistently. Okay. So here's how you check in on yourself. So I want you to ask yourself, did I communicate before I exploded? Was I specific? Did I make a request instead of an accusation? Did I allow room for her perspective? Did I follow through on my own responsibilities? Dude, that's self-check right there. When you're self-checking, you're able to self-balance. When you're self-checking, you're able to self-balance and saving yourself a lot of time and trouble. See, your partner should care about your needs. That's true. But she can't become responsible for your entire emotional life. Some needs belong in a relationship, right? Some require personal discipline. Some require brotherhood, maybe pastoral care, counseling, or professional help. So here's what I want to do. Strong men use support wisely. They don't just make one woman carry every fear, every disappointment, every wound, every ambition, and every pressure in their lives. Brother, that's not intimacy. That's emotional overload. That's what that is, man. That's emotional overload. So here's the thing. A mature man expresses his needs before silence turns into resentment, right? He doesn't hide. He doesn't explode. He doesn't demand. He communicates. Yeah, he communicates. That's what you got to do, brother. I got faith in you. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you in advance, I'm proud of you because that's what you're getting ready to do. So here's your 24-hour voice challenge. I got a challenge for you. Here's your challenge. Go back to the man who came home and who said, I'm good. Then I want you to imagine him choosing a different answer. His wife asks, are you okay? But this time he pauses, right? Same guy, same situation, but this time he pauses. Then he says, you know what? I'm not okay yet. I've been carrying more pressure than I've been able to admit. I don't need you to fix everything, but I would like for us to talk. I need for us to talk. See, that answer changes the atmosphere. Also, fix your face too. And make sure you're not, too frowning, because once again, we talked about body language, right? In one of the other videos. See, the problem is not instantly solved, but now the truth is in the room. And so she no longer has to interpret the silence. And then he no longer has to hide behind, I'm fine. See, your conversation, sir, may be about rest. Your conversation may be about affection, maybe money, maybe sex, maybe support, maybe time, appreciation, parenting, spiritual connection, or help carrying responsibility. Within the next 24 hours, that's what I want you to do. Next 24 hours, I want you to name one hidden need. Use the need protocol. Remember that one, right? Make one doable request. Don't bring 10 needs into one conversation. I want you to lead one clear moment. Lead that moment in your house. Be the leader in your house. But it's going to take you leading that moment. All right? Remember, needs don't make you weak. Hidden needs leak into your behavior. A need is not a demand. Clear requests create opportunities for connection. And remember, a mature man can receive an imperfect response without becoming dishonest or destructive or dismissive. So remember, as we say in most of our videos, that your sons are watching, whether men must remain silent until they explode. Your daughters are watching, whether love requires people to hide their needs. Your relationship is teaching the next generation how honest strength communicates. And you, sir, get to lead as the leader of your house, right? You don't need to become needy. You don't need what you need to do. You don't need to become needy. You need to become honest, right? You don't need to complain more. You just need to communicate more. You don't even need somebody to read your mind. But what you do need is the courage to use your voice without blowing up, without being silent, but use your voice. Use your voice to lead your house. Comment the word voice if you're ready to stop hiding behind I'm good. All right, go ahead and put the word voice in the comments for me real quick. So save this before your next difficult conversation. Share it with a man who keeps carrying everything in silence. I want you to follow, think like her, lead like him, because we're going to do the next one is going to be series number 4. We're going to be talking about you apologize just to end the conflict. All right. So this is what we want to do, because we do understand that here on this channel, a mature man does not hide until he explodes. He expresses his needs before silence turns into resentment. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.